AITAH for kicking my roommate out of my wedding? This is going to be fairly long and requires lots of context. I'm going to be vague just to be safe, but I don't even think she has read it. So, we are both early 20s and female and moved in together around 6 months ago. We became friends through work. In hindsight, it wasn't the best idea, since we didn't even know each other for a year before moving in together. But we clicked so instantly, and it just felt right. Going into it, I was in a very serious relationship, and before we signed anything, I told her the facts of the situation. If I get engaged, she's going to get screwed over. Either we move somewhere else and she's on her own, she has to live with a newlywed couple, or she moves back in with her parents. I ended up getting engaged, yay, and she refused to discuss the living situation. Just wanted to enjoy our time living together. That's fine. We had lots of time to figure it out, and the contract is for a year anyway. I asked her to be a bridesmaid, and she said yes. About a month and a half after I got engaged, she tells me she's pregnant with her ex's baby. She found out 4 days after they broke up, and she'd called the cops on him, but that's another story. Her pregnancy has not been the smoothest of sailing because she already has health issues. She tried again with her ex and was usually either at his house or at her parents' house, as she didn't want to burden me with her pregnancy symptoms. Again, this is fine, and I had no problems being alone at the house as long as she was still paying rent and her half of the bills. About a month into her pregnancy, she stopped showing up to her shifts on insanely slammed days. Our job requires heavy lifting and physical labor, and our bosses were very willing to work with her given this situation. But after 3 no-call, no-shows, our boss decides to let her go, and she is very much not happy. She was at this point pretty much exclusively staying at her parents' house, dropping in for maybe 1 or 2 nights here and there, and since she got fired, I offered to cover internet and electric bills, since I was the only one using those resources, but I still needed her to help me with rent. She pays me her half, and it all comes out of my account. The pay period after she got fired, she shorted me about 1/3 on rent. I asked her about it, and she said she needed time to get me the rest. Now, in this time, we hung out with another female friend from work, and the only thing I can think for why she is so mad at me is because I mentioned I didn't like the much older guy she is friends with, because he hooked up with her when she was freshly 18 and he was almost 30. Honest to goodness, that's the only thing that I can think of. And this hangout is the last time I have physically seen her. I gave her about 10 days before I messaged her again about the rest of rent, and she told me that she sent me the rest. I sent her screenshots of my bank and my emails to prove that I haven't received anything. This was our last conversation. I messaged her many times saying that if she's mad about what I said, then I was sorry for hurting her, and all I want to do is talk about it and sort it all out. I asserted how much I missed her, and how I still love her, and want to repair any damage I caused. Again, I was still speculating what I did wrong because she never told me outright that she was even mad at me. This message got read and ignored. Then I messaged her one long paragraph about how she can't just ignore her way out of our lease, which she also ignored. I was fed up, surrounded by people telling me to kick her out, take her to court, and the only thing I wanted was to have a conversation that she refused to give me. I even tried messaging her parents to make sure she was okay and still got left on read. Then she kicked me off our Netflix, and I was terrified she would cancel our Wi-Fi and electricity solely to screw me over. Finally, I couldn't take the stress anymore, so I told her I was letting her go from my wedding. She has yet to talk to me about any of this. I told her that I still want to be friends, and she is still invited. I just didn't think she would want to stand up there beside me if she can't even muster up the courage to text me back. She is now no longer even paying rent, and I am pretty much completely screwed in regard to my financial situation, having to put off paying certain things, canceling subscriptions, and the whole nine. Was there anything I should have done differently? Did I go too far? Should I have kept waiting for her to come around and finally come home so we could talk? AITAH for kicking her out of my wedding?